Unit 16. Focus on listening 1. Reality or science fiction? Section 3. You will hear a telephone conversation between two students. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10. Write no more than 3 words for each answer.
Hello?
Jack, it's Helen here. Look, this is just a quick call. I found an article on the internet that might be useful for that assignment you're doing. It's basically a science fiction writer's predictions about the future.
Great! I could do with some inspiration.
Well, if you've got something to write with, I can run through them for you.
Just a sec. Right, go ahead.
Okay, well, the first prediction is massive rapid change. He says it's going to affect just about every area of life, political, social, economic and so on. That's in the first category, which he calls definite.
So he's put the predictions in categories. Interesting. But does he mention any specific causes?
Let me see. Yes, he says the transformations will be driven by, and I quote, the forces of demography, which has incredible mass, and technology, which has incredible velocity.
I'm writing that down. Right.
Right. There are 3 more in the definite section. More city dwellers.
I've got a lot on that already, actually. But tell me about the other 2.
Okay. Well, talking about animals, he says that at the moment more species are being destroyed than are coming into existence.
Species. Yep, got that. Next.
And on languages, he says there are about 6,000 spoken today, but about half of those aren't being taught in school anymore, so they're bound to die out.
I must say I didn't realise it was as many as that.
No. Anyway, the next category is almost certain. You've probably got most of these. Global warming, computers everywhere.
Yes, got those.
More people.
Yes, population explosion, etc. But just a sec. He doesn't give any up-to-date figure for global population, does he?
I think so. Yes, 6 billion. That was the figure for 2000, at any rate. He also asks the question, how many people can the Earth support? Apparently, most estimates put the Earth's long-term capacity at 4 to 6 billion.
But we've reached that already.
I know. Scary, isn't it? Anyway, the third category is probable. And here we've got more countries.
That can't be right, can it?
Well, he says there's a trend towards more and smaller countries, which is going to continue. He points out that the Soviet Union broke into 15 parts.
Right.
Longer lives.
Got that.
And the other one here is alternative energy.
Go on.
He says the basic science and engineering for a new energy economy will be completed by 2025, but he thinks it'll probably take most of the century for it to actually be implemented worldwide.
I'm just scribbling that down. Okay, next.
Space exploration. He says the exploration of our solar system will continue, with more probes, more satellites, etc., but only as long as we have political stability.
Good point. I'd better mention that. Political stability, key factor, right.
And he also thinks new countries will be involved. He mentions China, Japan, and Korea. Okay?
Okay.
Then the last category is possible, with only 2 headings. One is nuclear war.
So he's not optimistic about world peace.
Not terribly. He mentions several causes for concern. like the amount of nuclear know-how there is around these days, and the fact that there are still so many problem situations in different parts of the world, which could end up in conflict, but also just the sheer number of nuclear weapons in existence.
How depressing.
And then the last prediction is what he calls first contact, finding life on other planets, I suppose.
I think I'll steer clear of science fiction. Anyway, all this has been a huge help. Thanks a billion, Helen.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.
That is the end of the section. You now have half a minute to check your answers.